So we're doing classes, and the code that's already been provided for you is just this main skeleton. Uh, the title, go ahead, let's fix that. So you will put your name, not Mr. J, because that's me. And as a reminder, what the title does is when you open it in a new tab, see if this will show up. Yeah, so when you open it in a new tab, that's the text that will appear up in the top. Um, so what we're doing today is we're adding what's called semantic elements. And we've used these before, but we wanted to go into what they are today. So inside the body, we're going to split the body into three different parts. Header, oh, I forgot. Got to get that angle bracket in there first. So header, and when you do the start tag, it builds the end tag for you. The header, the main, oh, I'm so used to a different program. And then we're going to do the footer. Now, right now, if I refresh my output, there's nothing there. And that's because we don't have any content inside of these elements. If we go to the new, and let's add a new file, you can call it what you want. Oh, it doesn't show up here. You can't see this part. Let's go full screen. All right, so I clicked on new. It brings up new file, and here I'm just going to name it style.css. Click add file. Now we should have the two. Now, because I have both of them up here, I'm actually going to take this bar and move it all the way over just to give me a little more room. All right, and then I'm going to zoom in so that we can see. Now, right now I'm on the style. So let's make sure that these are connected. So I'm going to start by selecting the body of my website, which is basically everything. So body is the selector, curly bracket, enter, and then inside those curly brackets, we're going to add in a property value pair or a declaration. So we're going to do the background dash color. That's the property. And for the value, you can pick whatever color you want. Uh, that is not how you spell gray. That's weird. All right. So if I refresh, oh, that's weird. It didn't change color. Well, let's go back to our index. And up here, the link is the element that connects my style sheet. The href is empty. So whatever you named your style sheet, whatever .css, you need to type that in. Right, so if I actually go in here, rename it, if I call it whatever.css, then to connect it, I have to match that name, whatever.css. Now if I refresh, get that out of the way. If I refresh here, now I've got that gray, so I know that my style sheet's connected. Now what we're going to do is let's give each, the header, the main, and the footer, we're going to style each of those. So after that closing curly bracket on a new line, I'm going to do header as the selector, background dash color. Let's do like a cream. Oh, I don't actually know if cream is one of the official colors. All right. If you go over to this assignment tab, there's probably going to be other stuff here as well, but I'll have this hyperlink for named colors. So if you click that, it should take you over to this HTML color names page, and it'll have all the names for the colors that you can use. So I wanted a creamy, so let's do corn silk maybe. I want something light, almost like clouds. Ooh, ghost white. Okay, let's do ghost white. So instead of cream, ghost white. All right, so if I go back to the output tab, right now I've got the gray, I hit refresh, you'll see I still don't see this ghost white. And the reason for that is the header isn't taking up any space to have white text. If we switch back over to the index, why did that go away? There we go. If I go to the index and I just type text inside of it, now that's showing up. So we're going to do the same. Main, going to add background color. For the main, I want like a, I don't know, let's do lavender. Footer, lemon chiffon. It's not capitalized. And then in here, again, just so that we have some volume so I can see what's going on. Actually, instead of adding text that I have to delete later, I'm going to do this. Up in the, before the body, we're going to use the universal selector. And then do padding 5px. Okay, so that's added on the very first line. And what that'll do is it'll give some volume to these other elements so that it works. We've got the header. Oh, and let's actually add margin as well. 5px. And no, with the 5px, it's all no spaces in there. Lemon chiffon, I must have spelled it wrong. Let's see. Lemon, chiffon. Oh, 2 M's. My bad. Lemon chiffon, 1 N. All right, so now we have these 3 semantic elements, the header, the main, and the footer. And then this is going to make it bigger so you can see. Header, main, footer. I've got my whole body has one color, these 3 different colors inside. Okay, I will see you in the next video. So now that we have the header, the main, and the footer built and styled, we're going to go back inside the index. Right, so make sure you're in your HTML code. Inside the header, we're going to add an H1, which is the largest heading, and then we're just going to put some, like an overall, basically a title for the web page. Top of the page, something big. I'm going to do Mr. J's glasses. So I'm going to hit refresh on that. If I zoom out a little bit for you, there we go. Mr. J's glasses. Oh, well, that's not ideal. There we go. No? Okay, well, let's try not doing numbers. All right, in the main, we're going to create what's called a section element. So section, don't forget the angle brackets like I always do. Okay. And then inside the section, we're going to do an H2. And then inside the H2, put the name of your class. So I've got A1 No, I've got web development. And then after you've got that H2, we're going to make lists. So for this first one, let's do the ordered list. So OL, and inside that, LIs for list items, and then just list stuff about the class. Uses HTML, teaches stuff. Just make a list, has 2-3 items at least. Super cool, whatever. All right, so I go ahead and refresh. Let me zoom this over. And so that's all I've got so far, right? Which it's hard to tell what's going on here in terms of which element is which. So we're going to go back to the style sheet and we're going to style the sections. Okay, so section is the selector. Oh, I got to zoom down for you guys. Hold up. Yeah. So section is the selector. And then inside that, what we're going to put is a border. Border dash style. And we want it to be solid. There's other borders as well. So if we go over to W3 borders, pull this up real quick. All right, so there's a whole list of borders. And I will add this hyperlink to the notes for the assignment. All right, so over in the assignment tab, I now have border options. So feel free to grab any of them. There should be, yeah, if you want to see them all, here they are. And then you can click try it now to see the actual code if you want. So for now, I'm just going to stick with solid. So now you can see inside the main, which is this, lavender color, I have one box. I'm going to go back to my index. And then after that section, I'm going to add another section exactly like before. So I have my section start tag, and then I'm going to do another H2, sorry, I'm typing second because when I press 2, it actually should be okay. So A2, and then whatever it is that you have for second period. Now when you refresh, you'll see there's a second box. All right, so when I refresh, now I have 2 of these border boxes because I have 2 sections. And then we'll do another list. You don't have to do all ordered lists. I want to see at least one ordered list and one bullet list, right? So one numbered list and one bulleted list. And again, we're just going to make them list a couple things about the class. So the bullets, we use the UL for unordered, and then LIs inside for list item. I don't teach this period. Grade and make lessons. Right, at least 2 things. So now I refresh, I've got the list. So you will continue. I want to see at least all of your A day, all your B day, or your 4 favorite classes. After that, what we're going to do is go through and do some styling. So in the whatever, first of all, do you see how there's not much space here between the one and the border? So I want to add additional padding inside the section, and this is specifically left side of that box. So I can type padding dash left, and then let's say 50 pixels, so 50 px. And you see how that pushes everything inward a little bit, gives me some space. All right, so this next part is how what we're going to do is we want each section to have a different background color. Right, so for instance, if I just try that here inside the section, background dash color diamond named colors, what color do we want? For A1, gold. Let's do gold. All right, so I switch my output. And now when I refresh, see both of them have that gold color. Well, this isn't what we want. We want uh, the each of them to be their own color. So the way we're going to do that is to use what's called a class. It's an attribute. So if you go to this section, we're adding an attribute here. So inside the start tag, I'm going to use class equals quote, and then lowercase a1. Oh, forgot. Let's go up here. All right, I'm going to redo that for you. Well, no, here's what we did. Inside the section, we added class A1. The second half of this is we go to the whatever, to our style sheet, and I'm going to style the class. And the way you style a class is you type for the selector, you type a period, and then the name of that uh, class. So period A1, I'm going to do curly brackets, and then I'm going to say background color pink. So now that I have my period A1, which is connecting to the class equals A1 in my section tag, now when I refresh, just the one section is styled and not the other. All right, so my A1, because this has the class, it's styled. If I take that class and add it somewhere else, well, just for example, let's do this inside this OL. Class equals A1, refresh. Yay, it did nothing. Well, because it's already inside. So if I get rid of the class from inside the section, so you see now it's just inside the ordered list. Let's undo that. Let's keep it in the section. And then in the second section, we're going to add a different class. Class equals quote A2. And then over in my style sheet, period A2, curly bracket, background dash color. Okay. Refresh. Okay. So you are making 4 different sections. Let me pause and I'll just do that real quick. So we have the 4. Now the next thing we're going to be doing is see how this is a very dark color. And so the A4 is really hard to read because it's dark against dark. So what we need to do is in our code, we're going to go down to the color in question, and we're going to add to the background color, we're adding a second, which is color, colon, and this will change the font. So since I have a very dark color, I want to grab a light color to make it easier to see. So here's my colors. Let's pick something really light that would go well with blue. Mint cream. Now when I refresh, now that's much more easily read. Okay, so right now we've got we've used different uh, classes so that each of these sections has a different background color. Oh, let's add something to the footer, so that makes sense. So down to the footer. And just, we can type whatever we want. Thank you for visiting. Cool. So let's go refresh. Better zoom out a little bit. Then refresh this page. So there we go. Thank you for visiting down at the bottom. Awesome. And